Hello, hello. My name is Sharp Eyes,
And I am Crucifix.
and this is
Maglactinus.
Maglactinus.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Maglactinus.
So today we are going to be. Oh yeah, welcome to WeCast, by the way.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
But today we're going to be coaching, getting some teaching in, which will be good.
Absolutely. I mean, even though our name is WeCast, we actually do a lot of coaching.
Yeah, we mostly only coach actually, but we still review replays, so it's kind of the same thing, right?
Almost. So, Crucifix, joke of the day, please.
Ugh. Um. So here, wait 1 second. I got it. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like 1/2, like a quarter. Oh no. Okay. Yep. So, oh sh.
Hello.
Hey, is it going?
I think we may have lost Crucifix there. Let's see.
Out of shame or what?
He was trying to dig for that joke in the and kind of tripped and couldn't get back up.
If you'd like, I can provide a really, really bad one.
Oh hey.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so we were talking about how you tripped.
I did. I was buying myself some extra time, I guess. Okay, so what kind of rooms have no walls?
Um Open spaces.
Mushrooms. Mushrooms have no walls because those are the kind of rooms that have no walls. Mushrooms. I think the jokes of the day are like getting worse and worse every day, and we've only done 3 of them. So like by the time we get to like a month from now, we're just gonna be making noises or something. Okay, let's
Alright,
get
well,
This
this
wasn't
started.
bad.
Yeah,
The
Alright,
justification of it was funnier than the actual joke.
yeah, that's true.
alright, so Mike, what race do you play and why?
I play Zerg because that's what I won my first ladder match as.
Oh, cool.
So I just went with it.
I see. And what is your best matchup and what is your worst matchup?
My best matchups, ZVT if it goes right.
Hmm.
Goes the right way. If it can sort of hold off Hellbats.
Right.
Hellbat drops in, that's my best matchup. It's my best matchup in Wings as well. And my worst is ZVZ, I think. I can't really get into the mid or late game. I usually just go for Bailing Bus and stuff.
Yeah, okay. Now, Crucifix, could you please explain to Mike our duality system where
Oh yeah,
the
that's
player
right.
chooses
So basically, so there's like 2 ways we can coach, like, and it's up to you. So, I know that you submitted replays for us to take a look at.
Yeah.
If those are like specifically like the exact issues that you're having trouble with, and like you want to show us them, and like that's what you would like to go over, then that is completely fine, and we can do that. Or instead, I know you said your worst matchup was ZVZ. So
Mm.
you could play Sharp Eyes, and then through playing Sharp Eyes, and like while you were doing that, I would give you general tips. And then while you were doing that, after you were doing that, we'd go over that replay and talk about it.
Okay. Option 2 sounds good. I think I'd
Okay,
do better with that one.
it's awesome. So let's do that then.
All right. So did you want me to play as Zerg or Protoss or Terran? You can pretty much choose what matchups you want to play to get better.
ZVZ to start with. I think.
All right, sounds good. We actually should have time for about 2 games.
Okay.
Okay, sweet.
And we're also going to analyze the replays of both games afterwards.
Cool.
Let's get started. Crucifix, joke number 2, please.
No, absolutely not. Have you heard about the new restaurant on the moon? The food's amazing, but I heard it's got no atmosphere. Yeah. So. Oh man.
That one was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But bad is good. Bad is
It,
good.
it was bad, like, oh man, that was bad. Like, that was bad. Yeah.
So Crucifix, what can you tell us about ZVZ?
Well, the majority of my knowledge about ZVZ is like pro level ZVZ, just because of like all the pro games I've watched. And usually what ends up happening is like there's like a lot of Ling Baneling play in the early game, and then that's basically just there's like a lot of Ling Baneling like poking back and forth, and then eventually you run into mutas like after that, and so basically then it's kind of like a muta v muta battle. But interestingly, like maybe less than a month ago, they buffed spore crawlers. So, or maybe it was longer than that. But like spore crawlers are really good against mutas. So as long as your static defenses are good enough, like mutas don't have to be the end game or like the mid game now. But it's very popular.
Very well put.
So yeah, basically the way it'll work is like as you play, um, um, I'm just going to give you general gameplay tips. So like you can choose to either take the tips or to not take the tips depending on what you want to do. Like I won't like at no point will I feel like offended or anything. Like if you choose not to do what I'm saying, like I'm only here to give you like very like general tips. And if like you don't want to do it because that's part of your build order, or because maybe I'm telling you to do something that like I'm just making a mistake or something, like definitely don't feel pressured to take any advice that I give you. I'm just here to help. So.
Okay.
Alright, Crucifix, how are things looking over there?
Pretty good. Like no complaints yet. Good
Nice.
drone production. Um, Good build order so far. Everything seems to be pretty normal so far.
Pretty pretty.
Pretty. Good larva injecting. Yeah, like full saturation. Good drone production. Spending all your minerals. Doing well.
We require more minerals.
One thing, like I don't know if this was planned on later. I would say like maybe prioritize creep spread a little more.
Okay.
But in ZVZ, it doesn't matter as much because it's good for both players, but it's still important for vision and stuff like that. Yeah. Speedlings on creep are so fast. Let's see here. Let's see, where is he going? Anywhere in particular?
We must place that on creep. Not enough energy.
I'm not sure if that's where your overlord's already going. You may consider sending an overlord to both potential thirds, like just so you know when if he takes it. I don't know if like you're already going to do that.
Okay.
We require more minerals. Our forces are under attack. We require more minerals. More overlords.
Your minerals are a little high. You could consider a macro hatch if you wanted at your main to be able to have more larvae.
Okay. I was just gonna.
Yeah, it's just
Well,
you know
so,
again like you can take it or leave it like it's up to
Yeah.
you.
More overlords.
Really good map control right now, as in like you have really good vision on the map. That's really good. Like I think you're transitioning into the mid game pretty well. Let's see.
Oh man.
Probably, depending on what you're planning on, you could probably get those second level upgrades. Make sure you get all your larva injects. And keep your drone production steady.
Our
probably saturate your main since there's only 12 drones on it. Sure, you're hitting all those larva injects. Yeah. Good drone pull. Yeah, build a static defense at your third.
Our forces are under attack. The hive cluster is under attack.
I'll throw out those infested Terrans, unless they can't hit air. Actually, not sure.
Mineral field. Our forces are under attack.
Yep, and so now those will get cleaned up. So overall, I mean, that was a pretty good reaction. You probably want to transfer the drones back to your natural now. I'll wait.
Okay.
Our forces are under attack.
So you're producing from your main. Nice fungal. Oof, that's rough.
Yeah, didn't see him coming in. Okay.
Yeah, man, like you played well. Like you played well for sure.
Thank you very much.
I would say the reason you lost the game, like you did really well, like taking out his third, because when you took out his third and took your own, like you had a third while he didn't for a long time, which was good. I think like the main thing that lost the game was I felt like you kind of, like after you took out his third, I felt like you just teched too hard, and like so like basically he like built up a big army of like roaches and lings and banes and stuff, and like you went infester, which was fine. But like you didn't have enough larva. Like you had enough mineral and gas. Like you had enough mineral and gas to build a lot more than you were. And
Okay.
and like even though you were kind of waiting for like your infester and your swarm hosts and stuff, like I felt like once like you killed his third, like you didn't have a big enough army to like hold off what he was coming at you with, and
Okay.
like and then also like with ZVZ, you should assume Muta. Like if unless you have a reason like to unless you know that they don't have it, like you should assume Muta and then at least have spore crawlers at each base. If not, like at least have spore crawlers at each base waiting. And then besides that, I would just say build a macro hatch or at least have a solution where you can be getting an answer to Roach Bane
Okay.
to Roach Bane Ling Muta, like while you're waiting for your Infestor and Swarm Host to come out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want to go over the replays after the games? Or did you want to
Yeah,
just?
sure.
Okay, sounds good. Let me go ahead and watch the replay.
Sweet. What did you think? Just like what was your opinion like while playing him, Sharpaz?
I thought he played very well for a gold player. I mean,
Yeah.
um, but
Just like yeah.
the lack of spore callers really hurt him there,
Yeah.
as mutas were able to just take out two bases.
Yeah, the Muta like if it wasn't for the Muta harass, you would have been ahead. But like once the mutas happened, like that's what put you behind. So like
Okay.
just having spore crawlers ready because of how popular mutas are in ZVZ, like would have saved you would have saved you so much like damage, you know.
Yeah. What do you think is like a safe time to,
Uh
well, not a
well
safe time, but a good time to put them down?
well basically you want the spore crawlers up before 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um
and while some Zergs actually, go for a Ling Bane Roach approach, you pretty much need to figure out if your opponent has enough gas for mutas. So basically, if you notice that your Zerg opponent is heavy on Roach and heavy on Baneling, well, he's probably not gonna have enough gas. But as last game, I pretty much didn't really spend too much gas early on to save up for those two base mutas.
yeah,
Okay.
he had a few banelings, and then maybe like I don't know how many roaches you had. I know it wasn't many, but like if you notice that like they have a lot less roach bane than they would if they were like committing to that, then like that's another good indicator that they're going muta. But yeah, if you can do a run by, and then you see that if you see like four gases mining, like then you'll know that it's definitely going to be gas heavy, and if you can see that spire, that's always the best. But um, like so basically like the build orders. I mean, you actually went for a more economy focused build. Sharp Eyes went pool first with gas, and you went hatch first. And so like it puts you in a position, and especially like you were already in an economic advantage, and you were doing real good with your injects and stuff. So like you were already at an economic advantage, and once you took out his third, like you were really far ahead. But then it was just like that muta harass just killed you.
So right here, I would recommend that you put your Baling Nest and your Spine Collar right next to your hatchery, touching it.
Okay.
Reason being is because it's so easy for me to just surround these buildings and then take them
Hmm.
out. But if you put them right next to the hatch, there's much less surface area, and especially if the Spine Collar touches both the Baling Nest and the hatchery,
Yeah.
that way only about 4 to 5 Zerglings can actually hit the Spine Collar at the same time.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, my
Right.
plan's usually to like, I put like a little corner and then I stuck my queen into it,
Uh,
but my lava were coming out against it.
Yeah, but so like I like the idea of like having it touch only because if you have the spine crawler and the baneling nest touching the hatchery, like
Yeah.
like both buildings have a lot of their surface area cut off. So, but but yeah, like I like the evolution chambers up front. That's good. Um, like again, like you did good job saturating and everything. Like the beginning of the game was real good. Um, let's see. Sharp Eyes, did you see anything?
so I noticed that
Game paused.
you didn't saturate your natural while massing army units. but then you weren't really doing anything with those army units. So uh, I think that you need to pick one of two routes. Either make army units and then attack with them, or sorry. So pretty much before saturation, make some army units and then attack me with them, or conversely, don't make any army units, just drone up and then
And
make army units.
Okay.
But right now you're playing defensively with your army when you could have been pressuring me hardcore. I mean, like right now I literally have no army units.
yeah, if you had gone to him with this army, I think you might have won the game. But like, yeah, like I agree. Like, if you want to do early pressure with this kind of army, like that's a good idea. You know, do that if that's what you want to do. Or if you want to get full saturation on two bases and then make an army, you know, that's also a good idea. But like, you have to, you usually want to choose one.
Yeah, and like a lot of people seem to think that to defend mass lings, you need to make a lot of lings of your own. And while that is kind of true, all it takes is a couple banelings and some well-placed buildings. So if you take a look at my main base over here, you can see that Zergling AI will be pretty messed up by this, as this Spine Crawler will be trying to attack them, but the lings can't get in here without going all the way around. So I can defend against a large amount of lings with just this one well-placed building right here. So try to build buildings like that. So build one Spine Crawler, and then trap it, and then make it so that your opponent has to go through a very complex maze to get in there.
Oh, the one in your main. I was looking at the one in your natural. I was like, wait, what? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that too. It's good.
Yeah. So this is really good here. That you killed a few queens, killed my hatch. I was pretty much playing really greedy, as I usually do, and and you punished me for it. So.
Yeah. Like most people that we coach, like Sharp Eyes kind of plays the same way. Like he always plays greedy, and like they almost like you're like the first person to like punish him for it. So it was good. Like I was when you did that, I was like, oh no, he might win. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure because you did so much. You did so much damage here. I feel like I don't know what happened. Like okay, I see. So basically, when he pulled his drones, there wasn't anything left for you to kill, and then he was just able to get some really good Baneling connections.
Yeah, well, I was looking at my base when the Banelings walked in. And...
One thing I would have almost recommended there, like, kind of, go ahead, kill the third, and once you do that, kind of poke in with, like, a little squad of lings, like 6 of them, and then go into the natural to see if it's safe for your whole army to try to take out the natural too. But like if you had gone in there with like 6 lings and saw those banelings and the Spine Crawler, you might have decided that it wasn't a good idea. And then conversely, like decide just to go back to your base because you already did as much damage as you needed to, right? Taking out his third while taking your own was really good. But now that you kind of sacrificed your first initial army and like you kind of sacrificed this army as well without doing that much damage. Besides keeping you kept him from mining, which was really good. But so like you are like pushing your economic focus. So like right now, like I feel like you could have been super far ahead, but like now I feel like you're only like marginally ahead, just because of how many army units went down. Let's see here, and
yeah.
But I mean, still you still are ahead in units lost, resources lost. I mean, like you still have 600 less lost resources than Sharp Eyes does, but you have lost twice the amount, like twice the number of units. So it's kind of just like however you want to look at that.
Yeah. Two big things kind of stand out right here. Number one, your queens have very high energy compared to mine. which means that you're missing a lot more injects, and also you don't have a macro hatch or a macro hatch next to your main base, which could hurt you, as you have
Yeah.
2,000 minerals and 1,000 gas, but your larva count is pretty low.
But, like, I always think that it's a good idea to make a macro hatch, like, unless like you're positive that you need like all of your minerals. Like, if you see that, like, earlier in the game at about the 8-minute mark, I think you already had about 900 minerals or so, which is a good amount of minerals for early game. Because, like, see, I mean, one reason Sharp Eyes' minerals are so much lower is because like that you denied his mining for a long time, and you're mining off of 3, but oh, and the muta stuff is happening. So it's a lot of times it's hard to macro while you're dealing with harassment. But yeah, so I would say, like, there's, like, a macro hatch is never a bad idea.
Yeah, so right now you have a whole bunch of minerals, and basically whenever you run out of larva, you just want to build some base defenses. So I think that you should have tossed up spore crawlers when you had the chance, just to make sure that mutas couldn't shut you down. Because yeah, with the recent spore crawler buff, 2 to 4 spore crawlers at each base can totally just shut down muta attacks.
Yeah, they're so powerful versus bio, like,
Yeah.
super powerful.
Yeah, and they're pretty cheap to make too. So
Mhm.
I think that if you're in a lead like this, toss up some sword callers versus Zerg to make sure that some mutas can't just kill off 2 bases.
Yeah, like I said before 10 minutes, only because that's like the earliest mutas can come out, and that's if they go like, that's if you go like really fast muta. But, like, he didn't actually hit you with muta until, like, 13:30 or something like that. And so yeah, like, I would recommend, like, after you took out his third and you found yourself in a position ahead, like, you at that point you can afford to get those static defenses. So yeah, I would have just like if you put like two in each mineral line, and then maybe 1 at the front of the base or something like that. So 3 total, like, per base. Like, it would have been completely impenetrable for, like, mutas to mess with.
Okay.
So I have a quick question. What was your reasoning on storm hosts?
There was one at the time. I was going to get Swarm Host Infestor because I saw the roaches coming out.
Oh, I see.
And then so I was just going to fungal and move in.
Oh, okay.
I did plan on borrowing just between the third and the natural and just rallying through. Then if anything came out, I just fungal it and then it chain fungal it and it died to the locusts that come out.
Right.
Usually I would probably recommend that you build roaches over the swarm hosts because versus mutas, swarm hosts are really bad, and like right now, that I've denied so much mining, I think a better call would be to either mass up on roaches, or possibly spore collared up and then went roach hydra.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say that once you saw the mutas, it's not like he's gonna, like, even once you shut the mutas down with the spore crawlers, like, it's not like he was just gonna stop making them. And, like, mutas, are the counter to swarm hosts. So, like, even if you were able to hold off that roach ling push that he had at the front of your base, like, I bet, like, those swarm hosts would have died anyways to an overseer muta combo, unless you were able to, like, land some really sick fungals. But yeah, so yeah, like, I would say, like, the 2 reasons that you lost were, like, first off was the spore crawler, and there was the spore crawlers not being there, and then second, just I think your army composition was, like, a little poor for, like, what he was bringing to the table, because, like, once he has mutas out and you've already seen his Ling Bane, like, the only thing you weren't positive about were the roaches coming. And so, if you, like, yeah, I would just say maybe your army composition could have been a little better there.
Okay.
Yeah, so right here, I think that if you would have tossed up a couple macro hatches, probably two, I think that our armies would have been a lot more um, fair, because you have almost 4,000 minerals here, and so
Mm.
almost 4,000 minerals worth of units should, destroy me, because you've been mining quite a bit more than I have, and so I think that macro hatches could have won you this game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you're already a good player. Like all you need to like get to like be like platinum diamond level is to spend your minerals. Like if you spent your minerals, like just because like of like how you already have a good grasp of the game and stuff, like you like feel like you'd see yourself getting like exponentially better at that point. So
Okay.
just like I feel like better like army composition choice, and and try to get the larva you need to spend your minerals. And if you don't have the larva you need already, build macro hatches. And if you already have macro hatches, then build static defenses / get upgrades. You know.
Hmm.
All right, let's move on to the next game.
Okay, I'll get out of here. Did you want a different? Race this time, or do you want to try Zerg?
Let's try a ZVP. If that's okay.
ZVP. All right.
Let's see. Let's see how rusty your Protoss is. Sharp Eyes should be pretty good.
Pretty good.
Indeed.
Indeed. What color should I be?
Oh, I get it. Purple.
Okay.
What happened? What happened to the boy who drank 8 Cokes?
He died of diabetes?
He burped. That's close. Actually, it's not. It's not close at all. He burped 7-Up. Burped out of the 8. He burped
Ah,
burped 7-Up. Yeah.
crafty.
Yeah. Why do golfers wear 2 pairs of pants?
Just in case they wet one pair.
In case they get a hole in one. It's not even a joke.
Why did the barber cross the road?
Why?
Because he had a client on the other side.
See, your jokes are way worse than mine. Mine are terrible. What do a mole and an eagle have in common?
They're both naked.
They both live underground, apart from the eagle.
Okay, no more.
Okay. Yeah, that last one was the best one. So it can't be topped at this point. Proxy hatch, let's see it. No, I'm kidding. Purple versus baby blue. Oh, just got it. That was close.
Base is under attack. You have not enough minerals. You have not enough minerals. You must construct additional pylons. You have not enough minerals. You have not enough minerals.
Sure you get those larva injects as often as possible. After your natural completes, maybe a little creep spread. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Whoa, lagging. My Protoss is really, really bad.
Well, you got some pylons down and stuff, so that's good. Try to probably recommend a macro hatch. Just so you know, you have a lot of minerals right now, so just try to spend them however you can, unless you have plans for them already.
Research complete.
this isn't gonna work out too well. I would recommend getting something like that can hit air, maybe mutas or hydras. But at this point, it may not matter. But you know, just keeping yourself only being able to hit the ground is dangerous sometimes. Mineral count's really high. Just, you know, do what you will with that. But, okay, let's see this. Looks like you're a little low on gas, so you might want to transfer some drones over to the gas on your main.
Come on. I like how you're keeping your drone. Like how you're keeping your drone production constant. You're not forgetting to remake. Let's see. I just pull back.
Phase crystals. Channel the light.
Yeah, like again, like it was kind of the same thing where you did really well in the beginning, and then like you did really well in the beginning of the game, but then as like the game progressed, you had trouble producing out of all like your buildings. Like after you hit him with your big roach rush, after you hit him with your big roach rush, and he eventually, you killed his third. He eventually fended it off. You killed his third again. Like after that happened, and you did the Hydra switch. Like I don't know. Were you waiting to get into Hive and then make and then do a tech switch, and that's why you weren't making units? Because for a while it felt like you weren't making army units, because like he came to your base with his stalkers, and you fended that off fine, but then eventually you lost those, and I felt like you didn't replace your army until he was already at your front door again. Was it just because you were waiting for your hive to finish?
Well, I didn't really know what to transition into.
Oh, okay, I
And I was
see.
trying to, and so
Yeah.
like, I wasn't sure if I should overcommit to going like Hydra Roach. Without
Yeah,
maybe
I
getting
think if you
Infestus,
had
or trying to go for a Great Aspire, and then maybe going like a Broodlord kind of thing.
Yeah, like I think if you had stuck, like because you were already in like a position where you knew he had a pretty good sized stalker army on the field, like a stalker void ray army situation going, like when when your stalkers died, he still had. Sorry, when your stalkers died, when your roaches died, he still had a good number of stalkers on the field. Um, so you have to at least make enough roaches like to like battle those. So I think if you had just stuck with Roach Hydra and then like built that army up again to the point where you felt like because again you were a base up, like you were a base up on Sharp Eyes. So like I think if you had committed to the Roach Hydra and made a good number of them, like enough to be able to fend off a good push, and then while you kind of wall teching up the hive and stuff, because you were mining on 6 gases for a long time, so you had the gas to make a good number of units. I would have said that committing to Roach Hydra, making a good bunch, and then kind of transition slowly into the Broodlords would have been really good.
Yeah,
Okay.
so also I want to note that pure roaches is actually very, very bad versus Protoss, because all the Protoss needs to do is mass some stalkers, mass some immortals, and then it's pretty much a hard countered roaches. So whenever you want to play roaches versus Protoss, you need Zerglings in there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Zerglings counter both stalkers and immortals. So pretty
Right.
much what you want to do is you want to lead in with lings, or okay, so basically if the Protoss player has zealots out in front, then you want to take those out with the roaches, then move in with your lings. If the Protoss army just has ranged units, lead in with the Zerglings to tank for your roaches.
Right.
And
Yes,
yeah.
yeah, like the only reason I even said anything about getting anti-air was because when you came in with just Roach, he already had a mothership core out. So I knew that like you were going to be taking damage from the mothership core the entire time you were at his base. And so like that's why I thought maybe like a muta switch would have been a muta, like in addition to like the Roachling, would have been like really hard for Sharp Eyes to deal with, cuz like he has the mutas like dealing with like his void rays and his mothership core while you're doing all that damage with the Ling Roach or the Roach Hydra. It's just really hard to do Roach Hydra Muta because of like how much gas is that,
Yeah.
So like Roach Ling or Roach Ling Muta or Roach Ling, like I think would have worked out pretty well.
Yeah, so basically you want to play either Roach Hydra Viper or Roach Hydra Corruptor. And lings are so crucial to your army that you always want to have lings regardless. I mean, right now, you have 2,000 minerals. So basically, if you would have had 2,000 minerals worth of lings and this roach army attacked me, like I would have been dead,
Yeah.
because you know, like that's what how many lings would 2,000 minerals
A
be?
lot. A lot. What is it like? I don't know. It's a lot. But
Yes, yeah. So basically, I think that the biggest thing that's holding you back is mineral spending, and
Okay.
that could be tied to the lack of larvae. Or actually, let's see,
right.
it's your larvae.
Is
Well,
there a is there a reason you don't like to build macro hatches? Because I noticed that you didn't, and you don't have to if you don't want to. But I'm just wondering
Yeah.
if there's a reason you don't
I,
like it.
I don't know. It's just it's not part of my
Just what you
muscle
usually
memory,
do.
I guess.
Oh, okay. But well, like the
So
only reason like it's so good is because you don't even have to treat it like a normal hatch. Like all it's there for is like to spit out larvae and you to make stuff with. So if you just
okay.
like you just build the hatch next to your main one, and then you like see how you have extra energy on your queen. Like that's what macro hatches are so good for because no one's perfect. They may, except for like maybe life or something. Like no one's perfect with larva injects. Like you're gonna miss some, but if you have a macro hatch, you'll always have low energy on your queen because he'll be able to. It'll be able to do two at a time, and so you're not gonna have this issue where you have 74 energy, which is 3 larva injects missed. It's gonna be you're always gonna have you're not no energy, or if you wanted to make another queen, you could, and then just have just make sure you always have enough energy. But like all we're saying is like if you had 2 macro hatches, if you had like 2 macro hatches or just even just one, that's so much more larva that you could be utilizing.
Okay. That'd keep my minerals down as well, wouldn't it?
Right, yeah, it helps with everything. It keeps your minerals down. It helps you, it helps your reaction. Like if you have to react to something real quickly, like it's, you can pop out a much bigger force, and it's just like it's always good. Like everything about more larvae is so good. So.
yeah, and so basically, this is like a trick that's pretty much meant for only Zerg. Okay, so what you want to do is make sure you have Zergling speed research, of course, and then anytime you're attacking, anytime, mass Zerglings. So pretty much, let's say that your main army is halfway towards his base, or let's say that your army is, you know, coming up on his army, or let's say that you're trying to take out his third or his natural. Queue up a bunch of Zerglings while attacking. So basically, during this fight, the Zerglings will be constantly reinforcing.
Okay.
And basically, it's kind of like the kind of swarm effect where because Zerg can remax quicker than all the other races. Versus Protoss, yeah, they have warp gates, but mass Zerglings can surround those warp in units before they even come in. And versus Terran, well, good luck because they'll have to produce one by one. So tips, always streaks when you're attacking.
Okay.
Yeah, so like especially that's especially good because I mean you could have your main army over at his third base and he pulls his whole army over there and you're having a big battle and then a ton of Zerglings in his main. Like just there's so many good things you can do with speedlings.
Yeah.
Yep. And also one thing to note right here, I think that this is a bad trade because let's see, you're sacrificing
Yeah, you did end up like
Yeah,
losing a
really.
lot of
1,
roaches
2,
here.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 5, 35, 35 times. So you pretty much sacrificed almost 3,000 minerals to take out 400 minerals. And so I think
Okay.
that instead of trying really hard to deny my expansion, I think that you should have just taken a fourth and then called it a day.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you weren't positive that your army was going to be able to survive this, like that's when you need to back out because or like if you don't have vision on his army before you push in, don't put like because you committed yourself into a situation where if he came up from behind you, you had to battle, right? There was no way to
Yeah.
get out. So like if you need to have like make sure you have vision on your army before you go in to kill a base like that or on his army, I mean. so that you can make sure that like you can win if when he pulls his army, because he will, right? He's not going to not pull it.
Mm-hmm.
So right here, I thought that that was actually a pretty good battle. I was kind of afraid that I was gonna lose here.
Like because of how bad your engagement was over there, like think if you had all those roaches that you didn't lose over there with that force, like you would have won easily. And like this is the point I was talking about right here. So you won that you didn't win that battle. Oh, did we go back? Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So like just before you make your point. So I think that if you would have waited for your eggs to pop before running out and engaging me, I think you would have won that battle.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like right here, like I'm not really threatening you that much. I'm just walking on here, and yeah, I'm gonna go over here to your third base, but see like right now, I think you should have queued up a bunch of roaches, uh, and then waited for me to go to your third, and then assaulted me while I was there.
Okay.
Because you know that he doesn't have a third, right? So the worst case scenario, like you get back even, which isn't good for a Zerg, but it's like you know that you have more harvesters than he does. Like, so what you could have done was let him go over to your third, back up until you got your eggs to pop, and then tanked with your drones here, like while you did damage with your army, and I think you'd be surprised at how fast you would have won that battle.
Okay.
And then you probably wouldn't have, like, you may have, even if you had lost all your drones, which I don't even think you would have, you still would have been in a situation where you would have been, like, you know, at a pretty even harvester count. So,
Yeah.
so like, if you know that you have a base up on your opponent, like, you know, you can kind of you can be a little more lax with your drones. Do you know what I mean? And so yeah, basically what I was saying is like, so right here, like after he won that battle and he left, like can you go back to right after he lost the battle? Like
Which one? The
no,
first one or the second one?
this one. Okay, so yeah, this
right
one. So yeah, right here. So go ahead and press play.
Okay.
Yeah, and so okay, so Sharp Eyes killed your army, but he doesn't feel confident to go into your main, right? Because his army's not big enough. And so here, this is kind of where I felt like if you had committed really hardcore to getting both Roach and Hydra out, like, okay, well, so you're still fending him off pretty well, and then he'll come in to take your third again. And this is kind of where you start to have a little bit of trouble, but like, okay, so here, let's keep going. Let's go forward. I think I'm in kind of the wrong spot. Maybe not. Maybe this is just close to where the game ends. Wait 1 second. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, just kind of. So he's killing your third. Yeah, see, like when you commit small armies like this into his army, like you're just, you know, you're asking them to die, but you did pull back a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, I guess you produced okay. I guess you produced as much as you could with like the larvae you had. Like at the time, it was just like by that time it was a little too late. So yeah, you were making roaches and hydras like basically as fast as you could. But like yeah, like we said, if you had pulled your first main army back into your base and like gotten an army that you knew was big enough to kill his, you would have been in a lot better spot, I think.
Alright. That concludes the 2 games. Let's go ahead and dive into the 6 sexy tips for better gameplay.
Awesome. So we're just gonna do 6 tips, like, and like if you were gonna write anything down from this session, like this is what we always suggest, because like this is like the wrap up of everything, because like a lot of times it's hard to we say so much it's hard to remember what like actually was said, you know. So anyways, tip number 1. I would say Like I really think like number one tip is like just if you can get to a position where you're spending those minerals, like you're gonna be in such a good position because um, um, it's just you're gonna have so much more out on the field. Just like the main reason you were losing those games is because you lost key battles, or yeah, you lost key battles, or you just didn't have enough army out, and and I feel like if like in spending those having that much having the minerals equivalent of the army that you could have had would have made all the difference. So just yeah, spend those minerals by making by any means necessary.
Okay.
Sharp eyes. Tip number 2. Sharp eyes. Sharp eyes.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
All right. So I don't know what happened there, but
Mhm.
okay. So point number 1, yeah, spend those minerals, right?
Right. Spend them minerals.
Okay. Point number 2, macro hatches. Like I don't care if you have to tattoo it on your arm, or put a post-it note on your monitor, repeat it over and over and over again. Play 100 games versus AI. You honestly, I think game sense wise, you're probably a platinum player, but not having micro hatches is setting you back that bad, because I realize that you don't have a lot of larvae just hanging around.
Mhm.
You are continuously producing drones, expanding, making units. The only
Yeah.
problem is you're running out of larvae. So
Yeah, you just don't have enough larvae, and that's why you're not able to make that's why you're not able to make as much of an army as you want because you just don't have enough larvae.
yeah, like I mean your upgrades are even decent. um,
Yeah.
so yeah, macro hatches all the way for point number
I
2.
think that would be like that would be the most helpful thing. I mean, spending your minerals is like the most important, but macro hatches is the way for you to do that. I think that and which brings us to point number 3 is your larva injects. They're definitely average. Like they're definitely about the same as I would say most Zergs. But it's always something because of how important it is. Like it's always something you want to be working on, right? Because Terran players make buildings to increase their production. Protoss players also have to make buildings to increase their production. But all Zerg has to increase production is make hatches and larva injects. Yeah, I would just say work on trying to remember that as often as possible. And like a lot of people do it different ways. Some people hotkey their queens. Some people just highlight an area around their hatches. However works for you is fine as long as you're doing it as often as you can.
Yep. Right, next point. Point number 4, right?
Yep.
So, as a Zerg player, always build buildings that are touching each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically, when you build your evolution chambers or your spine crawlers, build them right next to your hatcheries. Because basically, with Zerg, your opponent is trying to deny your expansions. So basically, the more buildings that he has to kill before getting to your hatch, the better.
Right. Yeah, and because those buildings, like most buildings, don't give DPS for the other races except for the planetary fortress and then the Nexus. But a lot of Zerg buildings have that DPS. So if like a pack of Marines that could in theory kill all your buildings, can't do it because of all those spawn links. So the more they have to get through to before killing your main base is good.
Yeah, and
Okay.
to add on that a little bit, so pretty much Zerg is kind of like a sponge of sorts. You want to be able to absorb hits, sacrifice bases, but then after that, overwhelm them. So
Right.
so don't be afraid to like let one of your bases die, wait for them to overextend, and then trap them like a spider.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times that I've killed a ton of Sharp Eyes' stuff and then lost terribly. Yeah, you really shouldn't feel like especially when you're ahead, which you are, like both of those games you were ahead. Like especially when you're ahead, you really shouldn't be afraid to take damage because I felt like you were trying to, and that'll be point number 5 is that just don't be afraid to take, don't be afraid to take damage because like I felt like you were doing whatever you could to make sure that you never took any damage at your bases, and it caused you to commit to battles that you weren't sure you were going to win, and you lost. So I would say don't like point number 5 is kind of a dual. Don't be afraid to take damage, and don't commit to a fight with an army that might lose. If you have a good reason why your army's going to win, even though it's not quite as big, like if you have like a if you have a 2-2 army versus a 0-0 army, then yeah, you could probably commit with a slightly smaller army. But if the upgrades are similar and you don't know if you can win, even if when you commit to that fight and trying to keep him from taking your third base, not only does he get to take your third now once he wins that battle, but he killed your whole army too, right? So if you pull back into your base and build up your army while he's killing your third, pull your drones back as well, you'll be in a position to where, okay, he killed your third, but now you get to kill his whole army. So he just sacrificed a ton of minerals to kill 300 minerals plus however many drones. So don't be afraid to take damage and don't commit to fights that you don't think you'll win.
Okay.
Yeah, and to add to that, so basically, whenever your opponent tries to kill one of your bases, you want to pull all of the drones all the way to the corner, forcing them to either overcommit or not kill any of your drones.
Yeah. So basically, if you pull them unless you think you can get them out without taking too much damage, if you pull them all the way to the very back of the base, then they have to send their army all the way to the very back of the base to kill those drones, and that's a case where you could send your army in, trapping them in there. You know what I mean? So instead of them just being able to kind of hang out on the edge, kill your base and your drones, and then run away, like they have to get all the way in that base to kill your drones, and that's when you can trap them and kill their army.
Yeah.
No, okay. And then Sharp Eyes, point number 6.
Point number 6. Oh, okay. Point number 6. Know some good army comps. So
Okay.
I kind of noticed that your army compositions were kind of, dare I say, awkward.
Yeah.
I think that you should, get a good grasp of what counters what, and then execute that. Because I honestly think that your gameplay is relatively solid, but your unit choices aren't the best. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Go ahead. Sorry.
So here are some basic army compositions for you. ZVT. Versus Bio, you want to go Ling, Heavy Baneling, Mutalisk, and then transition into Infestor and then Ultralisk. Versus Mech, you want to either go Roach, Hydra, Viper, and then Corruptor, or you want to go Swarm Host, Roach, Hydra, Viper, Corruptor. So one of those. In ZVZ, you want to either go Heavy Ling, Baneling, Roach, or a few Banelings, Muta, and then transition to let's see, transition into Roach Hydra, or you could even go. Let's see, yeah, ZVZ is the most experimental right now because of all the changes. So pretty much you always want Lings, Banelings, Roaches, and Mutas though. Late game, I mean, infestors are pretty good too, but you really want to focus on the core, the core four, as I like
The
to call them,
core? You've
the
never
core
said that
four.
before.
So lings, banelings, roaches, mutalisks, and then win mid game.
Right.
Because in ZVZ, late game is really weird because not many people ZVZs go into late game, so therefore, Infestor Swarm Host is kind of dodgy. And then ZVP, you really want to go Ling Roach into Hydra, um, into Viper, and into Corruptor, and then late game. You can really mess up a Protoss with Ultralisk because, quite frankly, the only unit that counters Ultras is Immortals, and Immortals are notoriously bad versus Vipers, Hydras, and Lings. So
Yeah.
so
Void Rays are okay versus Ultralisk, but they're already gonna have Hydras out.
yeah,
So
basically, versus Protoss, you pretty much have to utilize all of your units because the Protoss Death Ball is so powerful that it takes the entire swarm to take them down.
right. Like I saw like a lot of times I saw that like you really like Infestor, like that was kind of your late game unit of choice. And that's fine as long as you have like a lot of army to tank for them. But I feel like if you went with if you did the equivalent amount of resources in mutas instead of infestors, like you would have a much more useful unit for both matchups. And then also like yeah, when you were playing Protoss, I saw you still made a couple infestors, and yeah, like you really want Ultralisk versus Protoss, or at least Ultralisk and Infestor, right? Because the Infestor Ultralisk combo is pretty deadly. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's pretty rough.
So basically, you should never make more than about 4 infestors. That's if you even want to go for them. But late game, they're very powerful, but only in conjunction with Ultralisks or
Yeah,
units that can do the DPS because
yeah.
infestors aren't really that good at damaging.
Like by themselves. Like Infestor Baneling is really good. Infestor Ling, Infestor Ultra Ling, like Infesta Muter Ultra Ling. Infestors are good with other units, but by themselves they're terrible. So if you don't have that many units on the field, don't ever build Infestors. If you don't like, always be massing Swarm before you build Infestor.
Yeah, I noticed that in game one, you made like I think 8 infestors or so, and I think that if you would have made half infestor, half something else, I think that would have worked much better.
I think that was the first time I've ever seen like an Infestor v Muta like only battle. But I don't know, it worked. Like you were able to hold it off eventually, so that was nice. But yeah, so yeah, I would say like those 6 tips, army comps and all that stuff. Like just kind of work on that, and then I think you're gonna be like I think you're kind of on that edge where like you're almost platinum, but there's just like a couple things like holding you back, like a couple big things that if you can change those few things, like I think you'll find yourself like really doing well on the ladder.
Yeah, I honestly think that you're one of the best gold players that we've had on WeCast.
Yeah, probably. Because a lot of times you'll see gold players and they won't even be able to they won't be able to take a third base. They won't be able to transfer their drones properly or anything like that. No spine crawlers in their bases at all. So yeah, I think you're right on the edge of platinum for sure.
All right, and Crucifix number 7.
Oh yeah, if you enjoyed today's coaching session, if you have any suggestions for us, if you hate our guts like really badly, like you can if you have some time, a review on nerdupgrades.com helps us get like more coaches and stuff. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do that.
Awesome. Thanks, bro.
Yep.
Okay, so Sharp Eyes, if you will.
All right. Once again, my name is Sharp Eyes,
And I'm Crucifix.
and that is
Mike.
Mike.
It's
And,
just Magnum would have been easier.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And until next time,
Keep on playing.
keep on playing.
Indeed.
Indeed. Good night.
Good night.